Another Congregationalist missionary, the Reverend Dr. Stephen West, was graduated from Yale in 1755. Quoting from Miss Electa Jones, January 1759, it was voted to pay Reverend Stephen West an annual salary of £6 sterling, 13 shillings, 4 pence, and 40 loads of wood delivered to his door, besides £40 sterling settlement, lawful money, provided he remained as pastor. To this offer he assented, and was set over the people by the ceremony of ordination, June 13, 1759, having been introduced to the town in November of 1758. He was not gay, but always mild, kind, and affectionate, so that while there was an unwillingness to displease him, there was no fear of offending. It is the testimony of an adopted daughter that during the whole of her residence in his family she never for once saw his temper in the slightest degree ruffled. And his colleague, who spent several years in his family, when too he was in the decline of life, says that he never saw him offended except in one instance. And then he quickly repented, and went to the kitchen to confess his fault and ask forgiveness of the domestic whom he had sharply rebuked. His even habits had their foundation in an even temper. In preaching he dwelt principally upon the doctrines of grace, the value of which he deeply felt, which he longed to have others enjoy. To Dr. West, grace was a state of heaven on earth, a connection similar to falling in love. His church, with definite views of its own, acted almost as a court of law, consisting of deacons and elders. The idea of a town that was ruled by laws set forth in the Bible, Dr. West took literally. By the 1770s, Reverend West had proven more of a Calvinist than even Edwards himself. In 1782, a new church was built 6/10 of a mile from the Children's Chimes, north on Church Street, at the end of Old Meeting House Road. That year, Sylvia Morgan was excluded from church membership for associating with vain, light, and airy company, and joining them in dancing and frolicking, and accompanying with a man on Saturday night. David Pixley, who had lived in Stockbridge most of his life, had confessed to fornication before marriage, and stood accused of being quarrelsome, profane, obstinate, and impertinent toward those who would save his soul. After being publicly admonished, Mr. Pixley expressed his indifference, and Dr. West excommunicated him. 2 years before he himself was dismissed as minister of the church, Reverend West had excommunicated every last Stockbridge Indian. The church turned on itself and accused the Reverend's wife of having a few extra drinks in the evening, and the concept of church as town court failed. Dr. West was dismissed.